get the year off to a great start, man. If you've got any deals, loan officers that just aren't fitting into that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA box, go non-QM and get a quick quote like that fast with Oaktree Funding. Very easy to do. Just click the banner you see right here, over on your right, or straight down below, or there's a link on Facebook. Quick quote from Oaktree Funding. Close more deals in 2020.
By the way, when you listen to this story, you're going to understand why that quick quote is going to be so important. You have to follow this story closely because it's kind of crazy. So the good old FHFA, you know who hold Fannie and Freddie in conservatorship, they're hiring a financial advisor who's going to tell them what they need to do to raise a whole bunch of money, they call it capital, and repropose the capital rule as part of this structuring transaction to get Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac out of conservatorship. They got to raise money. They hired a fella. So this is yet another step in the direction of getting rid of the QM patch. See, they've already changed your DU and your LP algorithm to make it more difficult. And as we told you, Fannie and Freddie are looking at offloading a whole bunch of risk right now. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Fannie and Freddie want to offload risk at the same time raise capital. Offload risk, raise capital. Private sector capital is what they're looking to raise. That's why they're hiring this advisor. Now, I'm going to let you in on a secret here. They need to hire one because what they're currently doing is absolutely nuts.
Okay, so here's a quote as to what's going on right now. Investors taking part in the federal government's efforts to transfer mortgage risk from its balance sheet to the private sector should know that it might not be a fair trade. New analysis of data released jointly by the American Enterprise Institute and the Federal Housing Finance Agency shows that the government has only selectively released the data at the core of these deals, making assets appear substantially less risky than what's actually being undertaken. As a result, the private sector may be severely underpricing risk.
Damn right, that's interesting. Did you hear what Frank just said? Because I've heard this whole thing before, over a decade ago. Remember back in the early 2000s, before the crash, when lenders would bundle high-risk subprime loans, and after the borrower made 3 payments, those loans got rubber stamped with a AAA rating and sold off as being safer than they actually were. They were as good as somebody with 20% down and an 800 credit score. Well, now the GSEs are being accused of not releasing the data at the core of these deals to make them appear less risky than what they are. So what data are they not releasing? I'll bet you they're not releasing the debt to income ratios. I'll bet they're selling off these high LTV, high DTI loans because we already know that our regulators are freaking out about the loans that Fannie and Freddie have been writing since the QM patch came along. They're on the books as saying these loans are worse than the subprime loans of yesteryear. So what does this all mean?
Kind of sounds like the accusation is that the American Enterprise Institute is accusing the GSEs of defrauding investors. Because if you know your car is a lemon and you don't disclose that in order to get more money for it, that's fraud. If you don't disclose the risk on a loan and sell it to get top dollar, isn't that the same thing?
So back to the beginning. FHA is hiring a financial advisor who's going to tell them what they need to do to raise capital and repropose the capital rule as part of the restructuring transaction to get Fannie and Freddie out of conservatorship. Well, here's a thought, Fannie and Freddie. For starters, okay, ready? Don't defraud the very investors who would probably be interested in investing with Fannie and Freddie to raise all that capital that you need.
Because if a couple of guys like us can find this info, I've got to think someone buying mortgage-backed securities from the GSEs can do the same thing.
Hey, Frank, isn't it funny, the whole human nature thing and all? The whole screwing people over thing and being an idiot about doing it in the process? Because you kind of expect this from grifters or gangsters or liars or your Uncle Eddie. That's easy to see, and you go, well, there you go. It's just reinforcing my personal bias. Maybe it's just me, but because the most vital information was withheld with the GSEs, somebody over there knew it was vital, and that's why they withheld it. So we have too much high risk. They're offloading that debt. They're lying about it. The people who they're offloading it to, they want them to invest with the GSEs to offload their risk. Guys, this whole thing points back to they don't want to write high LTV loans with high DTIs. They don't want to do it, and that's why that quick quote is important. They are so concerned about it They're fudging the books like over a decade ago. Think about that for a second. The loans you're writing today, you will not write with the GSEs tomorrow. Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. And, they got to get out of conservatorship, and, maybe this will all come to light, and they'll still get a deal done, I'm sure, and get this thing moved over. But at the end of the day, the QM patch is going away.
It is.
And you're going to have to start doing different types of deals with different types of lenders, investors. And that's why Oaktree Funding is a great resource for you. And that quick quote is just so fast to figure out what you can do.
When I first started looking at this, I'm like, they're hiring somebody. This is imminent. And I know that it's all about the QM patch. But then you started looking at it, because we've been following this now for years.
Long time.
The level of desperation that they're being accused of right now is quite remarkable. And it just shows you how concerned they are about writing high LTV, high DTI loans. They want to get as far away from this stuff as humanly possible.
There you go. So put that in the old noggin and make use of it. You guys have a great day. Click the Facebook button down here and start a conversation about it. I think it'll be good. Leave us your comments down below. And if you're meeting us for the first time, in your upper right-hand corner, you can subscribe to us for free. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you later here at the Nashville Real Estate Post.
Later, skaters. See you in Nashville.